Hi guys, welcome back to the channel Cheers the Class, and there is a lot happening at the football front with Mino, Raiola, and Erling Haaland. I mean, most of football fans have read about the saga. And before delving into it, I think it's important. People who are watching from India, there's a very traditional thing we say that जब हम बड़े होंगे तो हमारा बेटा डॉक्टर बनेगा इंजीनियर बनेगा you know when we become parents we'd want our children to become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, but I can say today if I have a son I would want him to become a footballer, because then I will be able to earn 20 million out of my 20-year-old child 20-year-old trained prodigy of football. Okay, let me not confuse you, let me get you to the point. Mino Raiola has been he's become like a traveler. He's just traveling to different parts of Europe, trying to find the next big club for Erling Haaland. And he's gone to Barcelona and Real Madrid on the same day. That's an irony. Both are we have Barcelona fan here first. Then he's planning to go to a lot of other clubs to basically pitch his player that this is my player who is the next big thing. And there have just been exorbitant amount of fees asked for him. And the funniest thing is that he wants 20 million as part of the deal as an agency fees, and 20 million his father wants. That's my mainly our 3 points. That बड़े होके बच्चा होगा तो फुटबॉलर बनेगा. 20 million, and plus he wants to earn. This is a rumored salary. He wants to earn the same that Ronaldo earns. So the total deal comes into excess of 260 70 million, because Dortmund also wants 125 million for him. So just want to discuss, guys, what is happening. Is this really what football has got to now? And the reason why I've got Parth, who's come before, he's a Barcelona supporter. He's seen it through Neymar, seen it through major big transfers of how things are. So we have Gopal and Parth joining us again. Parth, what do you think about this, man? Being a Barcelona fan.
Hey, thank you for having me. And it's a little weird because right now Barcelona are in debt. I don't believe we have so much money to shell out in the first place, because you also have to look out for the Messi contract should he decide to stay at the club. But that being said, this is just a ridiculous amount of money. Yes, Erling Haaland is a talented player. He is scoring at Dortmund at an astonishing rate of almost a goal per game. But it's just astonishing that this amount, he's being paraded like a show pony across. And the funny part is that I don't know why our clubs are rushing to sign him this summer, because next summer he has a release clause that kicks in, which is about, I think, 65 million. So he will be available for almost half the money. So I don't know what is the rush this summer. And as far as Raiola is concerned, Raiola, well, he is not the most friendly agent or the most, what do you say? He's someone out there who wants to ruffle feathers. He wants to get the best for his client, but in that process, he ends up, ruffling a lot of feathers at clubs. So he is looking after his client, but his demands, I think, a little over the top, especially with his father earning 20 million. I'm sure Raiola made a big cut out of the transfers for Pogba, Lukaku to various
Yeah.
clubs across, but it's still staggering to see such a big figure come out.
I think
Gopal,
the
what do you
reason
think?
why I think yeah, Raiola is like a deal with the devil, right? The clubs hate him absolutely, right? The Dortmund board itself doesn't like to deal with Raiola, but then he has the best players, right? So if you are top clubs in Europe, right, and you want the best talent, sooner or later you have to deal with Mino Raiola, right? So then the problem with Dortmund is that I'm pretty much sure that they also want to sell Eric Haaland because they don't want to, sell Haaland at a release clause of 70 million. They know he's a player which is easily valued about above 100 million, and because other clubs are overbidding in the process because all of them want Eric Haaland, right? Because number nine, like this is some like a goal per game at an age of 20 years, right? And he has done it for last 2 years. So everybody's thinking, if he comes, it changes the whole dynamic of the team. And not only that, I think he's one of the hottest property after Ronaldo Messi generation, right? Like now Mbappe and Haaland are kind of the same bracket that we are talking about. So if any club signs him, the commercial revenue and the merchandise revenue prospects, they are humongous. So that is also one big reason why every club is pushing, because they know Haaland is going to generate that next generation of fans for their club, right? Because obviously he's a superb footballer, but then what you have to see is the commercial aspect, and that's the reason why all these clubs are, doing bidding wars to get him. So Raiola, I think there's nothing more to add, man. This guy's this, as Alex Ferguson said, he doesn't like even the, like, he's like oil and water. But then, what can you do? Because he has the best players, so you have to deal with it.
I think it's an interesting point you two have made. I think it also depends on the power he has, and we've seen it over the years with Pogba. Also, 20 million he got from Manchester United. I think I don't know people would agree with me or not. I think he's a nutter. He's a mad guy, Mino Raiola, but he's a very smart businessman because actually the agents have started asking for money, but the clubs are also willing to pay the money, right? We've seen over the years how the agency fees has just increased massively over the past 5 to 10 years, right? You have normal players, not even that big players. When agents get their deals with the clubs, the agents make a lot of money. And with Pogba, the 20 million was a lot of money at that time, right, for an agent to make. And I think the clubs are also willing to pay, but there's where do you draw the line? I mean, does the player come into the picture and player say, "Yeah, I'm 20 years old. I do I really need that big a move right now to a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or a PSG or a Bayern? I could turn out to be a James Rodriguez. Looked at mental health these days in football is a huge aspect, guys. And I feel that there'll be so much of pressure on him to perform at the highest stage. We've seen Timo Werner, right? We have Gopal, Chelsea supporter. We've seen Timo Werner playing amazing football in Bundesliga, comes to the Premier League, can't even score a goal
Agree.
properly, right? So you never know what will happen. That's obviously time will decide that. He will eventually make a move, but I think Mino Raiola will get the deal done and make 20 million. But how the father is making 20 million, what is going around in Erling Haaland's head, the clubs are also willing to pay that money. You have PSG that will pay the money. You'll have Man City, United. You have Real Madrid, Bayern Munich,
Every
Barcelona. They
top
will
club,
pay the
there
money.
is 100% every top club would be interested.
It's the way football is run these days, but it's just astonishing to read these things as to the amount of money these people want and how actually it will affect the player. That is the most interesting thing. His relationship with the clubs, anyways, we know. Parth, you've spoken about it.
Yeah,
Gopal, you've spoken about it. No one likes him, but he's the
yeah.
second highest earning agent after Jorge Mendes. So there has to be something about him that he does well, right?
So no, so like I
I,
said, he wants the best for his player, and he tries to extract the best value. And he's a pure businessman, and he does that well. But what I feel sometimes where he goes wrong is it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I think that's what Raiola sums up. My way or the highway, and that's where people don't like dealing with him. Like Jorge Mendes, Ronaldo's agent, is also as big as an agent as him as well.
Go on, go on.
He's as big of an agent as Raiola, but you don't hear such stories about Jorge Mendes. He is more subtle, he is more quiet, he's not prone to making loud statements as Raiola usually makes on behalf of his clients. And that really plays into the club's mind and the player's mind as well. Like when Raiola said this about Pogba many times that Pogba will move, he's not happy, so on and so forth, and made such statements without probably consenting the club first, it upsets the club. And at some point, maybe not now, and sometime in the future, there will be regulations, passed down by FIFA or clubs to curb this influence of agents on on football in general, because FIFA or some of the organizations are looking to place a cap on agent earnings or agent fees, are trying to limit it to what's happening, because it also inflates the transfer market in a very a disturbed post corona period, where finances have been impacted very badly.
Yeah.
So a lot has to be taken in context if you are dealing with such high profile signings for a lot of money. that you're going to pay. And with all due respect to Erling Haaland, he's scoring at as I mentioned earlier, scoring at a rate of 1 goal per game. That is not sustainable. At some point, it will drop. He did not score in each of the 3 games he played for
Yeah.
Norway in the international round, which were perceived to be a slightly weaker opponents, with all due respect to the respective players and the teams we played against. But we are yet to see him go through a slump, and how will he come out of it, and what the other teams also offer him in terms of play. Because Dortmund is a club known for its open play and the way they conduct themselves on the pitch. Other clubs are not. With our game, again, I just like to give one example. With Chelsea here, Chelsea follow a little more rigid style of play where the roles are defined. And even at Manchester City with Guardiola, where we perceive, it's an open play, but everything is practiced on and off the pitch. Players know what they're supposed to do. So if things don't go well, many of these managers are not afraid to drop players at if they don't suit the overall style of play. So will that happen with Haaland, and how will he react? It's not easy to take in for a player because if of his stature then. So a lot remains to be seen. Yes, he has the talent. Yes, he has the ability, but time will tell.
As a final remark, I wanted to ask you, Parth, because you're a Barcelona supporter, would you buy Haaland this summer if you had the option? As a fan, would
At
you
the
want him to
right
come?
at the right price. I'm not going to
270
pay.
million is the total fees for 5 years, everything included.
No. No. My personal opinion is Barca should not spend that kind of money on just one player. We have an overall squad to rebuild. We have a lot of other places where we need to put the money first, repaying our debtors and other such operational issues at the club. So for 270 million alone for Haaland, no chance. And like I said, we don't have that kind of money in the first place, and we need to keep some money aside should Messi decide to stay with us. So for the right price, which is not overinflated.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Parth. Thanks for joining me and Gopal for this lovely chat. And there will be so much more that we'll cover on this topic because this is a never-ending saga. I think it will go on for a long time. And
Yep.
so, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Serious because we do make different types of content. And please join us next time. Adios, adios, adios.
Adios. Bye bye.
See you.